Hey? I must be mad. I heard something. Fuck it. I heard something. I must be mad. Did I imagine it? To hell with it. Enemy in the fortress! Sound the alarm! Christ! Now you're in trouble! I'll hack you up like you deserve. What do you want? What? Hey! What are you lying here for?
get to the bottom of this.
I'm coming! Look out!
I'll catch that bastard.
must be mad. Huh?
I'll hear you and you asshole, you fucker!
I've been waiting for you! Damn it! Fuck!
hell. Shit. Bloody hell. Damnation. Ah, damn. Oh, bloody hell.
What is happening? Who are you?
Quiet. If you make a peep, we're done for.
Henry?
Good God, Henry. What are you doing here?
What do you think I'm doing? Hunting boar? Came to save your noble arse.
My noble arse thanks you. Oh, how did you get here?
I'll tell you later. Who's this?
Vauquelin Brabant, Chevalier d'Arezzo. At your service.
Brabant led the defense at Kuttenberg. He's Sigismund's prisoner, same as me.
And I came very close to holding the town. Besides...
There's no time for chit-chat. He's our ally. We can't leave him behind. Right, no doubt you've got a cunning plan for us to get out of here, right? Well, let's hear it.
Of course I have a plan. Listen, I got to the fortress through a secret passageway that old Ruthard told me about. Von Bergov knows nothing about it.
C'est magnifique. Very cunning.
They know in the fortress now that something's up, but we can handle it. We're lucky von Bergov left the fortress along with von Aulitz and some of the garrison. So I'll take you to that passageway, and we'll get out of here. We'll get to the forest not far from here. I'll have some horses ready there. We'll be gone before you can say the Lord's Prayer.
Formidable. I call that an elegant plan. I myself had to sneak like that once during the siege of Arezzo. So, what are we waiting for? On y va?
Wait. A passageway, you say? A dark, narrow passageway?
Well, it's just a passageway. There's a bit of water in it to wade through, but nothing we can't handle.
You can forget about it. I'm not going through any passageway.
What the fuck?
Let me repeat. No passageway for me. It's not the chivalrous way.
It is not chivalrous, c'est vrai, but in our situation, it is more than delicious.
Fuck chivalry now. That passageway is the only chance we have of getting out of here alive.
Well, in my opinion...
Fuck your opinions. No. Just no. I mean, we'll all suffocate in that passageway. Or it'll fall on our heads.
What's gonna fall on us, damn it? If I got in that way, we can get out, too. It's completely safe. So stop acting like a madman and let's go.
I can't do it. I'm afraid of small, dark spaces. Ever since that tower fell on me in Nabokov, and I was stuck under the ruins, I can't. I just can't. I'm sorry, Henry. There has to be another way.
Have you come up with some ingenious plan for getting out of here? If so, I'd really like to hear it.
What do I know? We could maybe break down the gate.
Un moment. Henri? You said that von Bergov left. Is that not so?
Yes?
And what about horses? Are there any horses left here?
I think there's a couple, yeah. In the lower courtyard?
Très bien. That will be enough. We just have to get to them. But I think we could get there stealthily. It is not far from the tower to the stables. Then you simply open the gate, et voila, we are gone. Just like I escaped when surrounded by that English dog John Oakwood. It may not be the best plan. It was not back then either. But we simply had no other choice.
That's a wonderful plan. No passageways. But we need some weapons.
Exactement. To have a proper piece of steel in my hand again. Preferably Milanese, although I would be satisfied with something local.
Thanks, Henry. I feel better already.
A nice piece. And what do you have for me?
So, this is how we're gonna do it.
C'est incroyable! I have fought on the battlefields.
Don't complain, damn it. According to what you told us, you can handle 10 men with your bare hands. So now you have a chance to show us. Henry?
We don't have, and if someone tries to...
Are you sure? I mean, wouldn't it be better if we went ahead and took stock of the situation?
Je suis d'accord. I would not risk more than is absolutely necessary.
Oh, don't you two start again. Quickly to the horses, or to the passageway.
All right. To the horses then.
Nom de Dieu!
Merciful Christ, we implore you, stand by us, for we intend no evil. We take up arms only out of necessity, and our cause is righteous.
Amen.
Amen.
Let's go.
Audentes fortuna juva.
Fortune, ma protectrice. Tu es toujours resté à mes côtés. Reste près de moi, même en cette heure.
I must admit, mes amis, the last time I have had such a suspense was when I was rescuing the King of France.
Oui, monsieur, you're surely brave. And fortune favors the brave. Free at last!
Thank you for coming for me, Henry. You're a great friend. The best I could wish for.
After today, you may also count me among your friends. I, Vauquelin Brabant, chevalier, aventurier et voyageur. I'm at your service, mon brave Henri. And I have an excellent idea. In your honor, I shall name my new horse after you.
Pleased to meet you, Sir Vacula.
My name is Vauquelin.
Vocala?
Vauquelin. Vauquelin.
Vocla... would you mind if I just call you Brabber?
Brabant. En.
Brabant?
Que peut-on y faire? It will have to do. Do not concern yourself, mon ami. Clearly, you are not tenant in any art or conversation. But at least you have courage and other skills. You carried out the entire operation truly brilliantly. I could not have done it much better. look, mon ami. How the fresh air suits Monsieur Chapon. He has finally stopped drawing in self-pity.
What self-pity, damn it? I was locked up for days in a tiny stinking room.
Ah, come now, mon cher. Luck was simply not on your side for once. That is all. Now we are finally free. The time has come for grand deeds. I did not waste my time in captivity. I fought everything over diligently. Listen.
Please, I'd prefer not to.
What's troubling you, Sir Hans?
What do you think? It all turned to shit again, and I ended up in captivity. I'm thankful at least that Hanush won't have to pay von Bergov a ransom for me. I'd never live that down. But I'll still have to listen to another lecture from him about how useless I am. Or do you have a different feeling about our Trotsky mission?
Well, true. Not everything went according to plan. Actually, almost nothing went to plan. But at least I finally got revenge on Istvan. That Horson got what he deserved. Believe me.
My Christ, you got Istvan! That's welcome news. No one will miss that fucker. Nice work, but I don't think that'll help me much with Hanush.
Jobst is hatching his plans. Soon we'll kick Sigismund out of this country, and I think the bold Sir Hans will still have a chance to prove himself.
Mais oui! I must meet your Jobst de Moravie. I have some clever ideas about how to strike against Le Roi Sigismund.
Yeah, you go and chat with Jobst. At least I can get good and drunk in the meantime. We should spur the horses on. God knows, they might be hot on our heels. Yeah! Christ, wounds. Such destruction and havoc.
War. Monsieur Chapon, you have yet to participate in a real battle. But I fought against les Valaques at Naples, and les Anglais in Bourgogne. And that is how war looks, whether in Italy or La Bohème. It is always the same.
That's not war. It's barbarism. What value did this village have?
Eh bien, I would estimate 5 courtyards. Annual revenues could be perhaps, several hundred groschen?
That's not what I meant, Bakalin. No fortress. Maybe one fortified courtyard. Practically insignificant militarily. That's not how war should be fought. This is unjust.
Do not give way to sentimentality, monsieur. A village could harbor spies and saboteurs or supply the enemy, and destroying enemy assets is an effective tool of war. Wars are not decided only in battles. There are not even many of those. To strike in the rear, make the enemy lose and bleed. That is how most conflicts are fought. However, wait a year or two, the village will be settled. The population will increase again. That is how it always happens.
But we're the nobility. Our task is to lessen the chances of such things happening.
You're right, Hans. We must find allies and put a stop to it as soon as possible, so we can save as much as we can.
Yes, but we failed in Trotsky. And now this is our punishment.
I see that short captivity has turned you into a philosopher, Lord Capon. You should apply to the Faculty of Arts before the muse lifts you again.
Here!
I fucked everything up.
Oh, get up, lad. Everyone makes mistakes. Only a better man owns up to them. At least we know now what kind of vermin we're dealing with.
What brings you here? We just escaped from Malashov, and right now
There's no time for haste. One thing at a time, my boy. Word reached Rat-Eye that you pair got yourselves into a nice mess. I'm glad to see you both in one piece. So, let's hear it. What happened?
It's best if Henry tells you. I wasn't around for half of it.
No sooner had we spied Trotsky on the horizon than everything started to go to hell. We made camp by a pond with the intention of heading for the castle at first light, only we were ambushed by bandits in the evening. They killed all our men and took everything they could carry, including the letter for von Berghoff.
And how did you two manage to get out alive?
Just by a stroke of good luck. We were both in a bad way. We might not have made it if a local herb woman hadn't taken care of us.
Only after that, we couldn't get into the castle, though. We looked like a pair of beggars.
And the bastards treated us as such.
But you did get into Trotsky in the end, didn't you?
Von Berghoff was behaving oddly right from the start. But we had no idea what was behind it. It all came out after we set out with von Berghoff's men to deal with the bandits who were rampaging in his domain. The same ones who attacked us at the start.
Only they ambushed us and took me and Henry captive for ransom.
But it turned out these very outlaws are on our side. They're fighting for King Wenceslas on the orders of Sokol of Lamberg.
Well, I'll be damned.
So von Berghoff has been the real enemy all this time. And Zhishka is actually our ally.
Zhishka. He's the captain of those outlaws. That name doesn't ring a bell.
I think you'll meet him soon enough.
What impression did he make on you?
He's an interesting fella. Handy with a weapon, but also pretty tricky. It's best to keep a fella like that on your side.
He made quite an impression on me, for one. I'll be happy to see him again. But if only it didn't have to be in Warhorse. Why Warhorse? Of all the places in the world.
We're riding to a gathering of King Wenceslas's supporters. If fortune favors us, the future fate of the kingdom will be decided there.
If we keep standing around here gabbing about it, it'll be decided without us.
Patience, my friend. This pair have just returned from the clutches of the enemy. No doubt they have something to tell us.
Like how in the devil did you manage to escape?
I was helped by the Ruthard family, the former rulers of Malashov, in exchange for dealing with some trouble they had with Ulrich of Raditz.
Ulrich Vavak? But he's the mint master.
Well, he won't be for long, if it comes to light that he's been putting his sticky fingers on the royal silver.
It seems you've been pretty busy.
But don't forget to say what you found out from von Berghoff in Malashov.
Sigismund has convened the city council. Markvart von Aulitz will be there with him, too. The word is, Sigismund is going to make an important announcement there.
He picked a nice time for it. But at least he won't be sticking his nose into what's going on around.
Can we go to Warhorse with you? We could certainly use a drink, a bite to eat, and a comfortable bed.
I wish I could say yes, son, but the city council assembly is a big opportunity. Young Lord Capon will go with us to Warhorse, but you'll have to return to the city right away, and try to worm your way into the town hall.
What? How can I get in there? I can't just walk in off the street.
You've got the dirt on Vavak. And you don't know how to use it? Just tell him either he gets you into the council chamber, or you get him on the gallows.
It's worth a try, right?
I hope that assembly really is important. If Sigismund is just going to announce an increase in taxes, there's not much point in my being there.
Well, at least you can enjoy watching the long faces of the councillors when they hear it. And don't worry, I'll eat and drink in Raborsh on your behalf.
If I come back and find you there under lock and key again, I'll leave you to rot.
T'inquiète. I will go as well, and I will not let your friend out of my sight.
Hans? Who's this?
Vaclin Brabant, Chevalier d'Arezzo, at your service.
He was a captive of Lord von Bergov's, like me. He defended Kuddenberg against Sigismund.
In that case, he'll be a welcome guest at Raborsh.
You don't know what you're promising, Baron. Watching Sir Hans is a job and a half.
The main thing is to watch out for yourself, Henry. As soon as you can do so without raising suspicion, come and join us.
He'll manage it, but now we really need to hit the road.
Safe travel, Henry.
Adieu et bonne chance!
And to you. Hopefully we'll meet soon.
What are you doing here?
Searching for treasure.
I was being serious.
What do you mean? I've got this here treasure map, and I'm looking for gold.
I'll be on my way then. Enjoy your treasure, if you find any, that is.
Oh, don't you worry. I'll find it all right.
Every day, like this one.
Zizka!
Needs to simmer a bit longer.
Doesn't seem too bad.
I wanted to ask you about the rebellious peasants.
Well, shall we meet with them?
Aye. I've changed my mind. We should join forces with them.
Great. The password.
That's a...
But
And how...
all you have, I have tried telling.
All right.
Good doggy.
Seems like this was a waste of time.
Hau ab, du Bettler!
Pleasure doing business. Take care. Maybe next time then. Vielen Dank. Es war mir eine Freude, mit dir Geschäfte zu machen.
How you'll learn that the church is rotten.
Excuse
Hear
me.
what Master Jan Hus
Hear ye! Hear ye! Andreas Blumen, bailiff of...
I'm going to see the Mint Master. May I enter?
Any fool could say that. What do you want from him?
Well,
Don't delay me.
that's
I'm in a hurry.
Suit yourself. But I'm warning you, if you give that kind of lip to Sir Ulrich, you'll be coming out through the door head first.
Glad to see you again.
You have the gall to show me your face again? I'll call the guards.
Hold your horses. I'll come in peace. Actually, I have a little offer for you.
You've come to blackmail me again?
Call it what you like. I need to get into the City Council Assembly. And I reckon you can help me.
The assembly? The one King Sigismund is supposed to attend in person?
No, Sigismund's just a usurper. Wenceslas is the only true Bohemian king.
Singing Ruthard's song, eh? I might have known. Speak then. What do you want? And tell the truth.
I want to know what Sigismund tells the council. I hear it'll be important.
You want to spy? Do you know what you're risking? And what I'd be risking? Forget it.
Have you forgotten I have you over a barrel? If you want to keep your position and your head on your shoulders, you better shape up.
All right, all right. Maybe we can make a deal. If I get you into the council, you'll behave appropriately and you won't betray yourself, or especially me. And that will be the end of our business together.
All right. That seems like a fair deal.
You can get into the council assembly relatively easily. My cook's son will be serving there. He's roughly around your age. Maybe he can be persuaded to let you stand in for him. Although, not everyone would want to give up an opportunity to serve the King of Hungary.
Who's this boy?
Franta's his name. Franta Cooldown. He's an idler and a boozer, but he's proved his worth as a waiter. Which reminds me, you'll need his letter of permission to serve in the council. Otherwise, you won't be let inside.
What will I need to work as a waiter there?
Fast feet and good manners. And the livery of a royal waiter.
Excuse me?
Do you think you can serve the king in a torn shirt and muddy hose?
Well, no. But I never heard about any livery before.
Our usual waiter had a brand new livery made specially for meeting the king. Don't even show up there without it.
Where can I find the cook's boy?
He's supposed to pick up his new clothes at the market today from Master Tailor Schneider. You'll almost certainly run into him there. That is, if he's up and about after his boozing bout. I swear that fellow practically lives at that Tin Hen.
At the what?
That German alehouse, the Iron Eagle. That is Zum Eisernen Adler.
What would work on him? How can I persuade him to give me his job?
Would you like me to give you a letter for him? I told you how to get to the assembly. Now do your part.
I'll be going then. See you at the council.
Just make sure we both come out of it alive.
God grant you health.
Striped fabrics. Come and take your pick.
Do your shopping here, and you're in the clear.
Christ! Pardon me.
Thank you. And a good day to you, friend.
What? Are you telling me you didn't get the job done? I've paid you so much up front.
Greetings. I'd like to...
Surely you can wait a while. I have a customer here. Here you are. The finest fabric. Intricate work. You won't find the likes anywhere else in this town.
No more than I'd expect after the amount they cost. Thanks. I'll gladly recommend you if anyone asks. And you impatient fella, what was it you wanted?
You must be Franta Cooldown.
I am. And who might you be?
I'm Henry. I heard you're supposed to serve at the City Council Assembly.
I am. What's it to you?
Supposing I took the job on for you. You can put your feet up, fill your belly, and I'll do all the work for you.
Look here. It's not like I'm all that keen on it, but it's well paid. Apart from that, it's a bit of a pain in the arse. Them councillors stuffing their faces and guzzling wine, while I run around like a bugger with pitchers so they don't run dry. Why would you want to stick your nose in there?
A wonderful day for a wonderful purchase.
I just have to get in there, understand? I have an important message for the king about a plot against him.
But why would you want to get to him as a waiter?
But it could be that someone from the council is mixed up in it, so I have to be incognito. See?
I see. All right, then. To begin with, you'll need confirmation that you've worked as a waiter at the council and you're capable of serving even His Majesty. Look here. Do you have any idea what's expected of you? Can you tell different wines apart and that?
Well, to tell the truth, I'm not exactly an expert.
You're off to a great start, but whatever. If you make a mess of it and the king has you whipped, you've no one to blame but yourself. Show the confirmation to the head butler. Tell him I sent you, and think up some good excuse. Clear?
That makes sense.
And you'll need a waiter's livery. I had a brand new one made. Here it is. I look like a prick in it. Hopefully it'll sit better on you. The main thing is, don't lose it before the assembly, or get it covered in shit.
Thanks. I won't disgrace you, I promise.
You better not.
Silk thread!
Leatherware! Quality strap!
Franta Cooldown sent me. I'm to stand in for him at the council assembly.
Franta's not coming? What's wrong with him?
He got poisoned. Probably from food. He's writhing in agony. By turns praying and cursing, spewing from both ends.
Oh, that's enough. All right. At least you're here.
We can't be without a waiter here, when the king himself will need waiting on. So, let's have a look at you. Have you got Franta's certificate?
Sure. Here it is.
Everything's in order. Now, about your livery. You've got a waiter's cap, a tunic you have. Hose are good. It's a good thing you've got no steel on you. You need to be light on your feet to run around tables. Everything as it should be. Glad to see it, lad. Do you know what your duties are? For an inexperienced greenhorn like you, it'll be a great responsibility.
Well, I'll happily listen to any advice. I wouldn't want to foul things up.
I should certainly hope not. Now listen. A good waiter should stand in a corner, look willing and ready, and not get in anyone's way. In short, behave as if you're not there. But when one of the gentlemen calls for wine, you run and pour it for him on the double. You'll find the pitchers on a table by the door to the chapel. You take one and go to their table and pour for them. White Tokaib or red monastery wine.
White or red, by the door to the chapel. Got it.
But for Councillor Adam of Zarjitz, you must not pour at all. When he drinks, he disrupts and makes trouble. So the assembly has to be interrupted, or otherwise it never reaches an end. We can't allow that to happen in the presence of the king.
All right. Sir Adam of Zarjit stays dry.
And if the king himself wants wine, you pour for him with lowered eyes. Don't look at him. And the most important thing?
Remember who wants what?
That too, but more importantly, do not disturb the councillors at their work. They have a lot to discuss. And in general, a good waiter has to be invisible, blind, and deaf.
Oh? I thought I had to keep my ears pricked.
Well, yes, but only to what anyone wants from you. No excuses, and provide everything that anyone wants from you. Understood?
Absolutely. I'm a waiter, after all. Not some street gossip monger.
Correct. And if you manage not to botch it up, you can even rise on the social ladder. Not just anyone can serve the King of Hungary, but you'll manage it, right?
I know everything I need to. I can do it.
Excellent. Put away your things here. It's easier to serve with a lighter load. You can wait in the cubbyhole for the servants.
unverzüglich. Our current Waffenarsenal is a
Here are
joke.
the pictures
and
of
on
wine.
top of that, the army was
Hopefully I won't
requisitioning
splash
from
on
it.
one's shoes.
Should the town reserve have worse weapons than any räuber in the domain?
What are you getting at,
A full
Eldris?
cup of monastery
I'm
wine.
saying that the bandits who freed Henning, the Dry Devil, used that thing. That Hackenbücher. Hand cannon. Can you believe it? Where did they get them?
Come now, waiter.
You're
I wanted
the one
red.
who should know where they got them. Since you're a gunsmith.
What are you implying, Friedrich? All I'm saying is that they had them, Herrgott. It is eine Schande when outlaws have better weapons than the
Come
city
now,
garrison.
waiter. I wanted
and
red.
Herr König surely knows this too.
What is it, Eldris? You smell a deal?
What I smell is that your stubborn heads do not realize what Schwierigkeiten this is.
You can shove that damn
The
picture.
Dry Devil is running free. There are Raubritter everywhere in the region. We have the army bearing down, and you want to defend yourselves with a few rusty halberds.
And who is it you want to fight, exactly? The merciful
I fancy
King
some
Sigismund
Tokai.
providing us with
Refill,
protection,
boy.
isn't he?
Der König and his army will not be here forever.
Shut up! The king can arrive at any moment. What if he heard you?
What then?
Hey, where's my
We're
wife?
sitting atop the biggest silver heap in the kingdom, and we're supposed to defend it with brooms?
You're right, Eldris. But where
That's
can
not
we
a
get
good
the
idea,
coin
sir.
for better
This is unbelievable.
We can always confiscate the property of the king's enemies, nicht wahr?
We are more than familiar with the jämmerlich state of our armory. And the king
White
is
Sun,
surely
pour
aware
me
of
red
it as
wine.
well. Maybe if he waived some of the taxes.
The king fears that this town will rise against him. He'll take the arming of the city's militia as a preparation for war.
Sir?
So you suggest we just wait with arms crossed for the Raubritter to wreak havoc all around?
We can always ask the king to bring order to the realm with his army.
But then the Dörfler will rise up.
I'm afraid I see no solution of the current situation. We shall wait and see what His Majesty thinks about the matter. Maybe we can change his mind. Vielleicht?
I'd like to report to the Honorable Council on the cleanliness of the city and the state of the public baths.
You mean baths or brothels?
Isn't it the same thing?
Hey, waiter. Pour me
So
some
the
monastery wine.
cleanliness of the city is not what it should be. The current baths in
That's
the city
not a good
fall
idea, sir.
far short
This is
of covering all the
unbelievable.
citizens' needs.
You're right. We do have the new baths in Hobbrink, and Adam's old ones, but I hear the
More
Hobbrink
wine,
baths
Master
are more
Bailiff?
of a pigsty.
I have enough
They
wine.
still are a bit.
Come closer.
But the quality went down.
I need something from you. There is an item in my study that I confiscated from a female thief. She thought she could wriggle out of it by telling me who the item belongs to.
And what is it?
A silver goblet. She sneaked into Sir Ulrich's house and stole it. No one's noticed the theft yet. But if Ulrich finds out, he'll turn the city upside down to find the culprit. Go and get it. And don't you make a mess there, understand?
Where can I find this goblet?
Use your eyes and come right back with it, understood?
The need for cleanliness and citizens' health should not be underestimated.
Nor overestimated. If someone needs to wash, there's a river just a few steps from the city wall.
Certainly.
Nice.
And they can get leeches
Use
there for
silver
free
might
as well.
this be?
And while he's there, a man can shave and take a...
So, did you find it?
Going to the baths is neither a city...
I did, Master Bailiff. Here it is.
Not so loud. Show it here. That's it. And now go back to your job.
The Black Death had nothing to do with the baths, unless the Lord wishes to punish the wickedness that's going on in there.
Keeping the city clean is important, but we don't have money to spare. Arguing about who is going to wash where and how is a waste of time.
I got word that Rutard has pulled off another deed.
That's nothing unusual. That old weasel will never accept that the city isn't run his way, at least until His Majesty honors us with his visit.
And as we know,
Waiter,
Gunslin
pour me red
absolutely
wine.
hates him.
He can hate all he wants, as long as he does no damage. Ulrich, what have you got to say about it?
Me? Well, I'm not sure what you're implying.
Sorry? I'm speaking about the Rutard incident. You were there, weren't you?
Well,
That. Just a small misunderstanding. We've sorted it out and everything's settled.
My ears must be deceiving me. Are you defending Rutard? Besides, if his men attacked yours, as I've heard, then we have a good reason to punish him.
What happened there? Leave nothing out.
I don't like Rutard, true, but in this case it really was nothing.
Everyone in the city gossiped about it. I heard there were several dead.
Did you? That's grossly
Sorry?
exaggerated. I don't think Rutard will cause any
Thank you,
trouble.
waiter.
He is sensible enough not to draw attention to himself while the king is here.
That's true. Because if we don't do something about him, the king himself will put an end to him, and soon.
Unless he puts an
You
end
there,
to
lad.
us first.
A cup of bread.
Knows what
Don't
he
you
wants to
skimp
tell
on
us.
me.
If nothing happened, there's no point in dwelling on it. Let's move on.
I'm sorry, Andreas, but I wouldn't brush it off so quickly.
Sorry?
Why do I have the feeling you're not telling us the whole truth, Ulrich?
Well, are you accusing me of lying?
Those are strong words, my friend. Nobody said anything like that, did they?
Then why doesn't he tell us what really happened,
I'm not keeping anything from you, but there's little truth to the rumors circulating around the town. Yes, Rutard and I had a little disagreement, but we ended it quickly because his daughter wanted to get involved. I didn't want to expose the girl to any unpleasant sights.
So Rutard is hiding behind his own daughter's skirts?
As if it wasn't enough that he sent his son to die defending the city.
All right. If you really don't have anything new to say, let's turn the page.
Things have got out of order in the town. Some adventurers decided to take the law into their own hands and restore the tradition of duels. It's not only barbaric, but also illegal. I could understand it with mercenaries, students, and other scum of all kinds, but city
Waiter,
councillors...
get me white!
Be specific, Forsooker. Are you blaming one of us?
Ah, and look who spoke first.
First of all, it wasn't a duel. It was supposed to be an honorable combat. And I didn't even take part in it.
Hang around
And
me.
that's the
Vanish,
only
hear
reason
me?
you're still here on the council and not in the pillory.
If you want to blame somebody, you should point the finger at the youngster here who's...
Excuse me?
Ah, never mind.
I suspect the gentleman from the city's sword-fighting school brought this custom to us. That German, Menhard, is just hanging around
Everything
the
in order?
market looking
Not
for
quite.
trouble.
But I think you might be able to help me.
What can I help you with, sir?
I left my gloves in the chapel. I took them off to pray, but then I rushed here and forgot to take them. I can't just get up and walk out now, but if you disappear for a little while...
All right. I'll get them.
I knew I could count on you. While you're at it, count how many figures on the mural have wings.
But why?
Because I'm bored, and because I told you. Get on with it.
You can rest assured the whole town is already laughing at us all day long. So what if they have one more reason?
That was easy enough. And he wanted me to count the winged figures.
The town council is squabbling constantly at the Emperor Charles, and no one is left unscathed.
And you, a councillor, let people throw dirt on our work?
If I threw out everyone who complains over a beer, I'd soon be out of customers.
Ah, to hell with it. We'll never get it.
So, let's see what you've got for me.
I found your gloves, sir.
Really? Let's see them. And did you count those winged figures?
I counted 24, sir.
And you counted correct. Good. Here you are, so you can have a bit of fun in the evening too, eh?
There's the eternal dispute over the cathedrals. The building of the church is dragging on, and in the meantime, they are calling diocesan pilgrimages to settlers. Right
Hey,
under
waiter.
our noses.
Pour me some
Just the village with the monastery, And they are going to Mokarol Mining City. Why can't we build faster? Hire more craftsmen, start with night shifts.
Haven't you noticed there's a war going on? Are the experts from far off
You,
supposed
lad.
to work in a city under siege?
Familiar to me.
Besides,
Have we
I
met?
get the feeling there's something other than the welfare of the city behind your complaints.
Oh, you do? Do you?
I really couldn't say.
And what would that be?
Like,
I have
for
a
instance,
feeling I've
that
spoken
you'd like
with you
to have
before,
your
too.
own altar there?
Or with
So what if
someone
I
who
would?
looks a hell
Hold
of a
your
lot
horses,
like you.
gentlemen. That space in the side nave is mine.
Then hell freezes over, mein Freund. Your place is at least 2 steps behind mine.
A swordsmith dares to insult me? Ha! I think not.
Excuse
Why?
me?
I'd like
You
some
wanted to
white.
buy yourself an altar in the cathedral, just like you bought yourself a seat in this council.
How dare you? I acquired my seat for the services
Sorry.
our guild provided and still provides to the crown.
It's you?
Well, I
I
hope
see
you're
you've
not
come up in
supplying
the world.
equipment to the
From a
army.
bathhouse boy
If that's
to a
all they
waiter,
have, they
you'll
would be
go a long
defeated
way.
by that bunch of ne'er-do-wells from the alehouse
I
on
might
Oakley.
make councillor one day.
Ne'er-do-wells.
Those wrestlers
You're a
of theirs,
merry
of
soul,
course.
lad. I like
People
that.
from the whole town go to watch them brawl.
Oh, this is news to me.
Because it has all been sorted out. Not long ago, the guards raided and threw them all out.
Ah, yes, I had forgotten. What do we have to discuss next?
Boy, I'd like some white.
Sorry.
Thank you, waiter.
I'm telling you, something is being planned. Oh, I doubt it. No one's gonna tackle Rootard.
Azonal Gülçek Össe, Elegiop Katonaikat, İşkelkinek Utra.
You have nothing to fear. Not you.
Unlike this plan of false!
Come now, father. Put a little life into your dying. Seen more cheerful priests at funerals.
I'd rather be at one than here. I hoped I'd never see this fortress again in my life.
Unpleasant memories?
You have no idea. I didn't part ways with my father on entirely good terms. 20 years ago.
And now you're 2 decades older and wiser. At your Ujit's parish, you spread the word of God to your flock, and you saved my neck and Henry's too. I'd say your father should be proud of you.
None of that matters a damn to him.
Who knows? Maybe that 20 years has changed a thing or two.
You know what? Let's drop the subject. Do you know any of the guests here?
Most of them I'm seeing for the first time in my life. It's a pretty varied company. We've had bandits, nobles, burghers, a priest, and even a rabbi coming together here. It's like the start of some joke.
Wait a moment. Rabbi, you say? The Kuttenberg rabbi?
Yeah. He came with a retinue. But for now, they're keeping mostly to themselves. Maybe you should go and welcome some of them. After all, this used to be your home. And you're a spiritual man too, so you should have something in common.
I wouldn't be too sure. But I suppose I can try. Who's that French fellow you brought here from Malashov?
The great Baron Brabant. Been everywhere, knows everything, and has the keys to half the kingdom. He's got more fairy tales than my old nanny.
Can he be trusted?
He's a blabbermouth, but a harmless one. Besides, he defended Kuttenberg, and you know how that went. If he were on Sigismund's side, he'd hardly have been locked up with me.
What do you plan to do now you're a free man again?
What do you think? Get drunk, woo one of the local wenches, and wake up in the morning with no hose and a head like a church bell.
Have you perchance forgotten we're supposed to be deciding the future of the kingdom here?
I'll leave that to the older and wiser. And duller.
How does it feel to breathe free air again?
What can I say? You can never truly appreciate freedom until someone locks you up for a while.
Or until you become a priest.
No fear of that in my case. I intend to enjoy life to the full. Wine, women, and song.
Dear me. I'd rather creep off into some corner with a full wineskin. But I suppose I'll have to introduce myself to the rest of the guests, eh?
Indeed you should. After all, you are one of the lords of Rabosh.
Oh, don't start with that. I'd like to steer clear of the old man as long as I can.
In that case, you should sound out Radzig and Hanush and find out what they're actually planning.
Such rare guests. One wouldn't expect to find among Christians representatives of your community. I'm Godwin. My greetings to you.
Peace be with you. Neither would one expect a priest here. And yet...
How do you know I'm a priest?
It's not difficult to tell. After all, we have much in common. And we are both a little on unfamiliar ground here. I'm Yehuda, leader of the rabbinical court in the sacred community of Kuttenberg. And this is Samuel, my aide.
Who would rather not be here at all. Why did we have to come here, Sadie? Can you not see everyone is staring at us?
Because we all need to help each other in this time of need. And why would they not stare when you are frowning so?
Are you here to arrange some trade?
We have more serious matters to attend to here than gaining a few groschen. The situation in the town and the kingdom is unsustainable. The whole land is on the brink of destruction. You have men and weapons. We have the means to sustain them.
Why are you telling this to a Koimer? You wanted to deliver what we brought to the Margrave and quickly leave.
Everything in good time, Samuel. We have just arrived, after all.
Did you come to lend money to the lords?
Not to lend, but to give. Help given to the needy is repaid only by God.
You don't even know if you can trust them. With that money, we could have paid mercenaries ourselves.
You remind me of my young friend Henry. He's a bit of a hothead too.
Henry? That messenger of Radzig Copula?
You know each other. You're both around the same age.
That would be him. We did not get off to a very good start.
I reckon the two of you would hit it off. He's reliable and has his heart in the right place. For a young stripling, he's been through plenty. It's not so long since his parents were killed in Skalitz. He was supposed to become a blacksmith, and instead, he's roaming the world, risking his neck at every turn.
Wait, a blacksmith, you say? From Skalitz?
Aye, that's right. Did you know anyone there?
I knew of someone. A blacksmith by the name of Martin.
My daughter knew him most, and that is why Samuel is in this world. For our numerous sins.
Maybe he was my father, but he certainly didn't act like one. Ma raised me on her own.
And that was all for the best.
Why? He should have taken care of me, but instead he fathered another bastard.
Don't make hasty judgments. As far as I know, Martin didn't have any other children. At least, none of his own. He took in Henry, and raised him as his own, on the orders of the Lord of Skalitz, Sir Radzig Copula, Henry's real father.
I don't care if he took care of 20 other mamsas.
That boy's blood father denied him, just like yours did to you.
A person can't choose their parents. And Henry only found out about it recently.
Enough. I'd rather have a drink. Will you have one too, Zayde?
For that, there will be more suitable times.
Excuse me. I'd better not drink.
Better communion wine than kosher, is it?
What's his name? Zizka. It's easy for him to rouse people to war when he has...
I'm glad you finally accepted my invitation.
God grant you health, sir.
Lost all hope.
To your health, my friends!
I didn't want to, but understand that my absence...
Good health to you, sir. I'm Godwin, a friend of that lad you arrived with, Henry. We don't know each other.
Baron Vauquelin Brabant, Chevalier d'Arezzo. The last of my line. I am a warrior, a traveler, a strategist, and also, à ma manière, a poet.
My word. Isn't that exhausting?
Mais non! And I'm glad to meet a new friend.
It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance, Baron. I knew right away we'd hit it off. How did you end up imprisoned in Malashov?
Ah, c'est une histoire compliquée. It was after I heroically led the defense of Gothenburg, and only lost it narrowly by an unfortunate turn of events.
That needs some explanation. What unfortunate turn of events?
Oh, misère. It is clear you have never been to war.
You're quite mistaken, Monsieur Baron. I have.
Ah, je suis désolé. This Bohemia is a strange land. I have seen farmhands, children, and even women fighting. But the clergy? Sainte Mère, do tell me about it. No doubt you fought on the side of truth and honor.
My last big battle was in Kosovo.
I've heard of this battle. Many great men fell there.
Aye. And it was there I decided it was nothing for me. So I settled down in the presbytery in Ujits.
Then, what are you doing here, at a meeting of opponents of the crown?
Ah, The Lord moves in mysterious ways. You say you're a poet? How about a verse or two to amuse us?
Jamais. Is poetry nothing but a fuss to you? Is a poet a gesture for amusement? I think not. To recite, I require the proper mood. And besides, few here would understand me.
Where have you been on your travels? Have you seen the ocean?
But of course! I was born by the sea. If you are interested in my greatest journeys, then I have traveled with a merchant caravan all the way to the Ottoman Empire. And if you are interested in my greatest deed, then that was perhaps saving the life of the King of France.
And you wouldn't by any chance know the Pope, personally?
Which one do you mean? I spoke briefly with Boniface IX when I was sojourning in Rome. A pleasant fellow.
How come almost nobody here knows you?
I am operating, as they say. Incognito. My great benefit is my strong connection with the French court. There, everyone knows my name. Here in Bohemia, I'm still building my reputation, slowly, but surely.
Dear friends and allies, in these troublesome times, you all know why we're here. The question remains, what to do next? Sigismund is facing troubles in Hungary, and here, too, he is up against resistance. He's a capable strategist, but a poor diplomat. Mark my words. If we wait him out until winter, he will leave of his own accord.
By winter, he'll have torched all our fortresses and carried off everything that we possess.
Are we seriously gonna wait and cower in a corner? Or are we gonna drive them out in shame? A few well-planned raids and we could have him in our fists!
At what price? Have you got men to spare? Has any of you got men and money to spare?
We don't have men out there.
Yes, we do.
We do not.
Jobst is right. That whole sun won't fall easily.
Only we can't wait.
Are we to get ourselves killed?
Or end with nothing?
Friends, we'll get nowhere like this. Let's adjourn ourselves and try to think it through.
Well, that went just as expected. Good health.
And to yours. Could it have gone any other way when there's so many of us here?
I would have expected a bit more sense from Jobst, of all people. He made an amateur's mistake. But it's hard to be angry with him when he's trying to ingratiate himself with everyone. By the way, I'm John of Liechtenstein. And you must be Godwin, the son of...
That's not a thing I've ever boasted of. How do you know that?
I have my sources. From what I've heard about you, I'd judge you could be quite useful to me at today's gathering.
Is that so?
Indeed. And that's why I'd like to ask something of you.
It depends what it's all about.
A little delicate diplomacy. I expect we can agree that Jobst's plan has certain shortcomings?
That's a weak word.
And the way it stands at the moment, he'll never get the support of the council. But I have an idea how to change that.
Well, I'm curious how you hope to shut Zizka up and satisfy the ones who want peace.
We'll sit and wait quietly until Sigismund withdraws of his own volition, as Jobst proposes, but we'll be waiting in the military camp of our huge new army.
When Sigismund sees that, he'll be off to Hungary all the sooner. at a gallop.
Exactly. Sigismund's army is demoralized and weakened. And besides, he's running out of resources. He's able to tackle fortresses that aren't able to defend themselves, but he won't engage in equal force on the battlefield.
But he can't retreat either. That would be a disgrace.
And that's exactly why we'll wait until he's called back to Hungary by events there. For the plan to work, we need allies, their money and their determination. We've already set the ground for it. We just need negotiators who will push the right people in the right direction.
Are you saying you set everything in motion even before Jobst?
More like in parallel, but without his knowledge. If we find support and make it look like the whole thing was his idea, we'll all win.
Why are you doing all this anyway?
Because I want to put a stop to the senseless deaths. And also because I'm happier with Wenceslas on the Bohemian throne.
I'll help you. What exactly should I do?
I'll give you 3 names. Bocek of Kunstadt, Haman Alder, and Anna of Waldstein. If you can get those 3 on our side, we've won the day. Meanwhile, I'll take care of Jobst.
What if it doesn't work?
I refuse to even consider that outcome, because it would mean slow but certain defeat for all of us.
Why me, of all people?
Because you've got a head on your shoulders. You know how to talk, and you're not just out for your own good. You and your friend Henry are similar in that respect. That's why I know I can count on you both. There aren't many like you two left.
Tell me a bit more about those people, so I know who I'm dealing with.
Certainly. Who do you want to start with?
Bocek of Kunststadt. I know the name, but I can't quite place him.
That's just the thing. He's got massive estates, great influence, but he holds back. He doesn't play the big game, because he doesn't like to take risks. He always goes for the sure thing. But once he's made his mind up, not even a pair of oxen will hold him back.
Alder the Alderman. Wasn't he a Kuttenberg councillor?
He still is. The only one who retained his position after the city was taken. Only he's here, instead of cozying up with Sigismund in Kuttenberg. So his days in the council are numbered. But he'll continue to have a strong influence on the guilds and the rich burghers. And that's why we need him.
Anna of Waldstein. The widow of that rich mine owner. What was his name?
Wenzel Bartosz. And I'm not surprised you forgot.
I was quite surprised to see her here. Assemblies like this are more of a...
A male affair? So far, Godwin, so far. Anna is holding back and behaving like an exemplary young widow. But don't trust appearances. She's got claws, she knows how to do her sums, and she certainly has no love lost for Sigismund.
And what use can she be to us? Apart from her late husband's money, of course.
She's as sharp as they come when it comes to trade. And she knows a thing or two about diplomacy. There are wicked tongues that claim Bartosz acquired most of his wealth thanks to her, and that it was thanks to her that he died, too.
I'll get on it then. Wish me luck.
I wish us both luck. Before the day is over, the die will be cast.
Success to our plans.
Hey! Where's that beer?
Not even Bocek?
Not even Bocek. And he's a great lord.
That's hard to believe.
Martin likes to exaggerate. He was talking about the sorry...
I'd like to check your horses out and see if they're as good as you say.
Pah, even better. But you won't believe it until you see for yourself.
And you might not believe your eyes when you do see them. Well, well, we have a new guest.
I wanted to...
You wanted to apologize for crashing into my home without it by your leave. Or to arrest my guests some more?
I want to have a word with Older.
Well, I'm having a word with you.
I apologize, Father.
For interrupting our conversation? Or just for being you?
Is that your...
Unfortunately. Speak up then. What are you doing here?
I came with a delegation from Sir Hanush of Lipa.
Is this a joke?
Why so strict, Martin?
20 years ago, he was nothing but a cheeky brat, only interested in wenches and booze. I got him a place at the Archbishopric to have some sense beaten into his head. Only it wasn't long before they kicked him out. And then I find out he's settled in some backwater parish in Sassau. But he took his boozing and whoring along with him, lost everything, and then came creeping home again. Huh?
Try saying it again a little louder. They might not have heard you in the outer courtyard.
You have the impertinence to show me your face after the way you disgraced our whole family?
I wouldn't set foot here if I had a choice. Better to be a priest in some backwater than have a father like you.
How dare you?
You're as shit a father as I am a son. We've got nothing to blame each other for. And now let me speak to Older.
You're dishonoring your host.
I can't dishonor someone who has no honor. If you had any, you'd be...
That's enough!
Christopher.
You won't get away with those insults. I challenge you to a duel.
I refuse to fight. I'm here as an envoy, not a jester.
You've got no other option. You insulted Father's honor.
Gentlemen, surely there's no need for violence. I can have a word in private with Lord Odorin, the second, as he desires, and then...
Out of the question. This uncouth lout needs a lesson. And he's got plenty to learn from Christopher. By God's grace, I have at least one son I can be proud of.
You want satisfaction? You'll get nothing but shame. As always. Suit yourself, then. We'll fight. Come to the outer courtyard, but quietly. We don't have to put on a show for the crowd.
After you.
Well, that's that. Now, where were we?
Shouldn't we rather...
No, Christopher will sort it out, you'll see.
Make room for us. We'll just settle a very private matter. It's an honorable duel, man against man.
Otherwise, the first strike will put you on your arse.
Wanker!
Cover your right side.
They teach you
You've
that in
got
the
a gap
seminary.
there I can drive a cart through. What's wrong with your legs? Look in my eyes, not at my sword. Swing with your whole arm, not just your wrist. You don't know which end of that thing is up. Left arm lower.
Not bad for a priest. Hey, who taught you that? Enough! That will do. My God, where did you learn to wield a sword like that? Father always said you were a good-for-nothing boozer. But you could teach sword fighting in a school.
I was in a war. Right after they kicked me out of the Archbishopric. And you ought to know yourself. Not all the faults that Father sees are real.
Aye. Well, I apologize for going off like that. I had to, so that...
So Father would be satisfied. I know. Only he'll never be satisfied. The sooner you realize that, the better.
I thought he was the way he was because his first son let him down. And he hoped at least his second would become something.
Not at all. I remember him the same since I was a nipper. When I was 6 years old, I fell off a horse and broke my leg. He wouldn't talk to me for a week because I'd let him down.
The first time he took me hunting, he let me starve for 3 days until I was able to shoot my first hare.
Only 3 days? He got soft.
I always wondered who you were. There was never much talk about you at home.
Look, I really did fuck up everything I could. I brawled and boozed until they threw me out of my own parish. But now, I have a chance to put things to rights a little.
And that's why you want to talk to Alder?
Aye. The outcome of this war depends on it.
That sounds very important, considering you and Alder are both pretty small players. After your encounter with Father, it won't be easy to get to Alder. Actually, I don't think you should even attempt it. Unless you want to anger Father even more.
What else can I do, though?
I'll talk to him myself. He'll hear me out for sure. But you'll have to trust me, and tell me what it's all about.
Do I have any choice?
If it's really that important, you don't.
All right, then. You've heard Yob's plan, right? It's a nice idea, but we can't wait around without an army to back us up.
Only no one's going to pay for one, because that would be an outright admission of rebelling against Sigismund.
Alder's got some clout with the councillors and burghers who are loyal to Sigismund. If he agrees, they'll follow.
I expect Alder's not the only one you're after.
You got that right.
Leave Alder to me. The plan sounds sensible, and he's no fool.
I don't know how to thank you.
You can drag me to a tavern sometime. Pa doesn't need to know about it.
You're starting to sound like a brother.
God grant you health, sir.
May I have a word with you, sir?
You? Anytime. With you, at least, there's some sensible conversation. Unlike this pack of conceited upstarts.
Young Lord Capon is finally free again. Let's hope he'll take better care of himself now.
He got a harsh lesson. But at least he might remember to lay off that tomfoolery of his for a while. But if not, war will make a man of him soon enough.
Do you think there's really going to be a war? I mean a proper one, not just sitting around and talking about it.
I sincerely hope so. Whoever sits around risks nothing. It's time to get off our asses and take action.
Have you got something against the Kuttenberg nobles?
Their forefathers lived up to their ears in dung. But thanks to the royal mines, they were born with silver spoons up their asses. And they think that can turn their blood blue.
But surely they're not all like that. And they are our allies.
Allies or not, someone ought to show them their place.
What do you think about Jobst?
Are you testing me? Jobst called this assembly and he wants things to turn out well. We have to trust him.
To turn out well for whose benefit, though? Some are up to their elbows in silver and blood, so others can live in freedom.
Better make sure you're among the latter, then. And in the meanwhile, help the former to keep their losses to a minimum.
Godwin, you wouldn't be avoiding me. We didn't have much time for conversation on the way here. Let's rectify that.
With pleasure, sir. As it happens, there's something I'd like to ask you. I couldn't help but notice your son has a bit of a talent for getting into trouble.
To put it mildly, but not to do him an injustice, knowing young Lord Capon, he undoubtedly contributed to that more than a little. Although, If they didn't pull each other out of trouble, God knows where they'd be now.
Wise words. Still, Henry's come a long way on a thorny path. I trust you're rightfully proud of him.
You know, I am different path than he.
May God grant him eternal rest. What are you expecting from today's gathering, my lord?
Well, I have no great expectations. But, all going well, we may be able to establish some joint steps towards the future. As long as we proceed without prior agreement and mutual support, we will be very unlikely to achieve any progress.
Where did you leave Sir Divish? Surely he's not too old to miss out on such an event.
Haven't you heard? Lady Stephanie is with child. No one even imagined Divish would produce an heir at his age.
As they say, doesn't matter who kneaded the dough, as long as there's a pie in the oven.
Godwin.
Well, it could be a miracle. Praise the Lord!
Why we mustn't push too hard.
Burghers, patricians and usurers. They're without honor.
We're trying to...
You seem a bit out of sorts. Anything wrong?
Oh, these grand aristocratic assemblies are nothing for me. I'd be happier if they just told me in the morning how it all went and what my boys have to do next.
But then you'd miss all the grub and the booze. And the gossip.
Oh, have you heard anything interesting here?
It seems Liechtenstein's looking for allies. For his own ends.
And how's he going to do it? Didn't you see them all fighting tooth and nail here just a while ago?
Well, different approaches work with different people.
The only approach that'll work with Sigismund is open resistance. Maybe on the field of battle?
Let's hope young Lord Capon manages to stay free for a while longer. Ever since leaving Rattay, he's gone from one pile of trouble to another.
That's one thing you can always count on him for. I'll gladly wager with you he'll end up in some other shit by evening.
God forbid. Henry's not here now to pull him out of it.
In that case, it'll be up to you. I'm sure you wouldn't leave him to disgrace himself in front of Hanush.
A lot of people think the wealthy burghers will stick with Sigismund, whether out of fear or convenience.
Well, that's to be expected. As long as Sigismund has the city council under his thumb, no one will rock the boat.
Well, at least there's a few individuals here, like Ruthard.
Sigismund confiscated his castle and half his estates. That'd be enough to make a man mad. Not to mention that his son was killed in the siege of the city.
Sir Bocek, I need to speak with you for a moment.
A man hardly puts his cup to his lips and someone comes along to put a flea in his ear. Jobst comes up with a plan as full of holes as a beggar's shoes, and now you're all jostling to win me over for him.
On the contrary, I've come here with an idea how to improve it.
Does that improvement include a few thousand men-at-arms? If not, you can go to the devil with it.
A few thousand men-at-arms as a convincing argument. And 100 horsemen on top. Only in order to get them, we need coin.
You've got my attention, but not my money yet.
How can I persuade you?
I need guarantees of security. I don't want to end up like Ruthard.
Of course. Once it comes to protecting property, ideals go out the window.
You can talk, since you haven't got a pot to piss in yourself. If you were in my position, you'd think differently. I have a lot of property, lots of subjects to look after, and along with that, the Lord blessed me with a large family. I can't risk it all in a conflict with Sigismund.
So you need guarantees that you won't be left standing in the cold if you openly oppose Sigismund.
My guarantee is called Yitka. She's my niece. If I succeeded in marrying her off to another strong house, I'll have the certainty that I won't be left alone.
Maybe it's enough to find a suitable groom among the allies.
Perhaps someone of suitable standing who Yitka would also gladly accept. I don't want her to be unhappy.
I believe Liechtenstein is single.
And an uncertain party. Besides, he's inconvenient for Sigismund. Yitka could end up being a pawn to blackmail both of us.
How about young Lord Capon?
He's a youngster still.
What's wrong with him? He's young, he's handsome, women are fighting over him. Yitka will like him, and he'll give her a whole bunch of children.
And to half the wenches in his domain too, eh? On the other hand, the Lords of Lipa have a good reputation, and Hanush can always be relied on, despite his temper. Maybe it's not such a bad idea.
So, will you support our plan?
You're selling the skin of a boar that's still grunting. First, I want a confirmation that the wedding will take place, as soon as possible.
And what if Lord Capon refuses?
I don't care what the young lord thinks. Hanush is the one to decide. If he agrees, I'll be happy to support your plan.
Pushing a friend to tie the knot to save the kingdom. Things have come to a pretty pass.
The kingdom will not forget his sacrifice. Now stop dilly-dallying and go and tell Hanush.
Take a look at that.
Sir Hanush, I bring happy tidings.
You do? Let's hear it then.
I've gained us a powerful ally.
And who is it? I hope it's not one of those Kuttenberg stuffed guts.
On the contrary, it's Bocek, the Elder of Kunstadt and Podjebrad.
Kunstadt? By Christ, he's the last one I'd have expected to step up. How the hell did you do it?
Well, there's one little catch. I had to promise him... I don't even know how to begin.
Out with it.
Lord Kunstadt has a niece, so... I arranged a betrothal for young Lord Capon, with your blessing if you agree.
Hans Capon is to marry Yitka of Kunstadt. Godwin, you conniving old bastard!
Oh, fuck.
I don't believe it. So, young Hans is to marry Kunstadt's daughter?
Niece.
If you're serious, I'll make sure that you get the Rattay parish.
Or you could make me the abbot of Sassa. Or what about a bishopric?
Forget it. Soon I'll be paying for a wedding. Not a word to Hans. I want to tell him myself. But let's drink to it, shall we?
Cheers!
Cheers to you, and to your parleying skills.
Good day.
Sir Bocek, your niece Yitka can start preparing for her wedding.
So Hanush agreed, without reservations.
Indeed.
Then I will fulfill my end of the bargain without reservation.
Thank you, Lord of Kunstadt.
Enough formality. We'll have a drink. What do you say?
Cheers to the beautiful Lady Yitka and the unhappy Lord Capon.
Here's to a good bargain.
keeps up, it'll be over soon.
God be with you, noble lady. There's something I'd like to ask of you.
God be with you. What would that be?
Your diplomatic support. And your money.
No beating around the bush, eh? I like that. But what do you want my money for?
Margrave Yob's plan has some gaps, milady. We need to gather enough resources to...
To muster an army that Margrave can't afford on his own?
Christ. Be praised. You're astute.
I should say so. All sorts of people have their eyes on my money, and divining their intentions is a necessity. Although, between the two of us, it isn't hard to figure out what Liechtenstein is after.
Hit the nail on the head again, Mom. You're well informed.
I am rarely mistaken.
I'd say you have a better nose for people than most of this crowd.
Not only for people, but also for good food and wine. And beneficial deals.
Then you're in the right place. This occasion provides all of those things.
The wine here is average. The cooks lack imagination. And I have yet to hear any interesting offers. So, to the point. What is it that Liechtenstein wants from me?
Nothing more than support and resources for an army to parley more effectively with Sigismund.
Nothing more? I'd say that's plenty. And why ask me for help? Why should I, of all people, take the risk?
It's not only your money we're interested in. You're well able to negotiate and trade. And if you were to take part in our plan...
Then I'd be helpful to you on two fronts. If you want me to support you, you must give me a good reason. Perhaps a favor in return.
Do you have something in particular in mind?
Well, one of the guests here has something that shouldn't get into the wrong hands.
Who's that?
Haman Alder. Now, if you were to switch these papers for the ones he brought with him, I would support your proposal.
I'm supposed to rob an ally.
Haman Alder was given the documents to deliver to the council. He hasn't yet had a chance to look at them, so he won't even notice the difference.
Have you fallen out with the town councillor?
No. Alder is innocent in the matter. My relatives from the House of Bartosz are behind it all. They're disappointed that I dared outlive my husband, and the fact that I'm handling his estates makes their hair stand on end.
And these papers I'm supposed to switch, what do they concern?
My relatives somehow dug up some trade contracts between myself and certain undesirable parties.
You were dealing with the enemy.
They were not the enemy at the time. My conscience is clear, but I'll rest easier when those papers are in my hands.
And the papers I'm supposed to plant on Alder?
Just insignificant documents. If the incriminating ones disappeared without a trace, it would arouse suspicion.
All right, I'll help you. Or at least I'll give it a try.
Alder will surely have the papers in his saddlebags, which he left in the shed on the outer courtyard. Bring them to me, and put these there instead. But watch yourself. Odorin's groom has eyes everywhere.
Take a look at that. A nightingale.
A little misunderstanding.
I've got those papers from Alder for you.
Quiet! You don't have to announce it to everyone.
Milady, with all the clamor going on here, I can hardly hear my own thoughts. Here they are.
You're more capable than I expected. Thanks for the help.
You're welcome. And now you're part of the bargain.
As agreed. I will support Liechtenstein's proposal with both words and money.
Thank you, noble lady. God will...
Yes, quite. But let's drink to our bargain, Godwin.
I'd like to, but I'm afraid I've had more than my fill already. I wouldn't want to cause a scandal.
Wise. No matter, I shall drink a toast alone. But to your health.
Gentlemen, I think we can raise our goblets to the successful conclusion of the negotiations.
Is this supposed to be your secret weapon?
Like I said, miracles happen where you least expect them. Tell me, Godwin of the House of Odorin, what news do you bring us?
I bring nothing from the House of Odorin. But the widow of Waldstein and Sir Bocek of Kunstad will support our cause.
Both of them? Good heavens, what did you promise them?
This is going to be a long story, and I could use a drink. So if you'll excuse me, my lords?
It would seem that we have all benefited from the break in these proceedings. New alliances have been formed. And I have also changed my plans. We shall still wait for Sigismund to withdraw his troops of his own accord, but we will wait with an army at our backs.
Yes! And how are we to raise an army? Wasn't it made clear at the meeting that no one wants to take the risk?
The only thing made clear was that each of us alone is weak, and that we could not find common ground. But that has now changed.
King Wenceslas is, by the will of God, the balbatim of all his subjects, not only the Christians. Our community, and not only ours, will give you coin.
Yes! The Kuttenberg houses are still loyal to King Wenceslas, and we stand with Lord Ruthard.
And if that's not enough, the houses of Leipa and Kunstadt will unite and march side by side.
My niece, Yitka, will take young Lord Capon as her husband.
Lords Kunstadt, Hanush, Radzig, and I will set out immediately. God willing, we will be back within 3 weeks, along with an army.
Now those are words worthy of a nobleman.
My friend, I still believe that words are more powerful than swords. And our words will ring in 1,000 voices to the glory of King Wenceslas.
After we conquered the city, you promised to restore order immediately. And then I find out things are even more disordered than before.
Your Majesty, we are sorry. We will put it to rights.
You've already said that. I want to hear real solutions.
We will put more guards on the roads and toughen penalties. We can have a few captured bandits executed as an example to others.
We do not care about bandits. We care about rebellious nobles and burghers. What will you do with them? How will you solve the chaos in the town administration, the rebellious miners, and the dismal yields? And how is it even possible that a rebellion against the king is smoldering here in the city?
What do you mean, sire?
I hear the resistance is coming from the Jewish quarter, from right under your noses. Why haven't you done anything?
We don't know who is behind this. Without evidence, we cannot punish them.
Otto von Berghoff did not ask questions in Prague either. He acted. And I advise you to do the same. Find a couple of wretches in a hole somewhere, point them to the Jewish quarter, and give them free rein to do anything. The city's Jewish community was and still is on Wencesla's side. They need a warning.
We do not even have enough men to...
Marquardt, could you spare a few men for a while?
Of course, sire. I'll assign them to Eric. He'll take care of it.
So you see, all you have to do is make sure the city rebel get their share. You could at least manage that, couldn't you? And if the thought should cross your minds that you would get rid of the debts to the Jewish moneylenders this way, forget about it. Your debts will remain, up to the last groschen. Only now you owe us directly. And while we are on the subject of money, has the yield from the mines finally matched last year's?
Sire, the deposits are dwindling, and mining is becoming increasingly difficult. And to make matters worse, the miners started rebelling.
Don't take us for a fool. They'll stop rebelling when you pay them proper wages.
Your Majesty, we can't do that.
Silence! How dare you oppose the kingdom's protector? You're a bunch of incompetent sycophants! Chicken shits! Not any better than the scum hiding in the forest.
I apologize, sire. I'll do everything in my power to...
All I hear from you over and over again are excuses and prevarication. And results? None. I therefore placed the city council under the authority of Sir Marquardt von Aulitz, who is present here, with immediate effect. He will make sure you finally do your duty.
But, sire, that would be a violation of the privileges granted to us as a free mining town.
Silence! I am the only guarantor of your rights. You have to earn your privileges, not hide behind them. During my brother's reign, this idleness was perhaps tolerated. But that is over now. You were given a few simple tasks. But instead of working on them, you idled in the baths and lined your pockets. And let the traitors cast their nets undisturbed. But unlike my brother, I am capable of creating order. And I assure you, I do not distinguish between those who stand in my way. Be they beggars, noblemen, or city councillors. You have 2 weeks to restore order in the city and increase mining output. I want clear results, and you answer only to me and Sir Marquardt von Aulitz now. No one else. The council is dismissed. You, don't go anywhere, boy. Be so kind and remain here. Our throat has become rather dry. And we still wish to speak with our friend von Aulitz.
Yes, sire. As you wish, sire.
Between the two of us, Marquardt.
Where are you going? Mind your own business.
And speak candidly. We have had enough of false flattery.
Sire, You are harsh, but rightfully so. These councillors, they need to be shown their place. You suffered their insolence for far too long. And the same is true of the Jews.
We know. Otto repeated to us several times that it is time to strike against them. We are glad he's not here. He would be intolerably self-satisfied if he knew we had heeded him.
Boy, can't you see the king's cup is empty?
You tend to us as if we were infirm. Boy, pour us a monastic wine. The monks had a good year. We have concerns, friend. The Hungarians are rebelling. Our army is falling apart, and we have enemies here on all sides. Would we had a proper army instead of human mercenaries. They cannot be relied upon. And we are no closer to our goal now than a few months ago. Thank you. It is a good year. If our father were still alive, he would have been astonished by the mess that a few years of Wenceslas' reign brought to us. With a single word, he would have put the nobility in their place, and the country would flourish. God grant him eternal glory.
We won't need much more time. We'll arrest the traitor Odorin, and the rest will fall in line.
You say the others will be brought into line, but what do you know of them? We know only a few of them. But there's a fortress standing on every damn hill. What side are their lords on?
We'll find out soon enough, sire.
If only Wenceslas were not such a stubborn ass, and relinquished that throne that he has no use for anyway. The nobility, on the other hand, found a ruler like him very useful. They made a puppet out of him.
Once you restore order, they'll join you. All you have to do is promise them the privileges they lost during Wenceslas' reign.
First, they'd have to be willing to make peace, at least among themselves. Jobst does everything he can to sow chaos, so that he himself emerges victorious in the end. This business makes me thirsty. Pour me some of that red, boy.
I think Jobst is just waiting for the right moment. He'll switch sides when it suits him.
Maybe. But first I'll have to conquer a few more cities, and get a couple more lords on my side. Then they take the threat of war seriously. And Hungary. If Bohemia is a wasp's nest, then Hungary is a viper's lair.
You will follow in his footsteps, sire, as soon as you get the chance.
But the wine is good. To your health, Margaret. And to your health too, boy. May your children grow in a land ruled by a good king.
Thank you, sire. You are too magnanimous.
Why? You did a good job. You can be proud of yourself.
To your health, your majesty.
First, we need to crack down on the biggest troublemakers.
We're working on it. While the consul was meeting, Otto von Berghoff and his men set out for Raposh. Odorin won't give you any more trouble.
He and Ruthard are in it together. Once we get Odorin, we can handle Ruthard easily. Rabosh will be yours. After all, Otto has already got Malishov.
I appreciate your confidence, sire.
But the devil knows there are a lot more strongholds to conquer here.
For the king, red wine, boy.
No, we shall have white. We have had enough of red.
White it is. Quickly! If Raposh falls, others will follow.
I think von Berghoff's little contraption will find its use again.
If need be, we could use it to raise this town hall too. And I have some suggestions for other candidates.
Not so fast, my friend. It's a wondrous tool, but we can't rely on it forever.
But to bring it here to the square and point it at the city hall? Those sycophants would only benefit from a warning like that.
It's a splendid idea, but it won't be necessary. The councillors are quite fearful enough already that they can hide nothing from us.
There's been enough fretting, sire. You shall see. Soon we will drink to the conquest of another fortress.
You are right. So then, to victory. And you, boy, will you drink with us? So that you shall have something to tell your children and grandchildren.
No, sire. It would be inappropriate for me to drink with you. I apologize.
As you wish. To your health, Marquardt. And to our upcoming victory.
The name is unpronounceable. Vauquelin Brabant.
About the girls? Or the piglet?
You in need of something, my well-oiled friend?
I'd like to drink a toast with you to our joint success. As they say, all's well that ends well. So, to brighter tomorrows.
Touching.
Come now. What's become of your poetic soul?
I never had one.
Truly? Not even a little?
Not a bit. I'm just a cynical old pragmatist.
In that case, in quite simple and pragmatic terms, the wine has run out.
Fuck. I've got a tongue like a slice of weak old bread after all that gabbing.
Well, get something wet for us then.
His lordship is so unsteady on his legs, he can't make it as far as the keg.
To hell with that keg slop. Your father surely has something better stored away. I had my eye on him all evening. He had pictures brought from somewhere for himself and his closest friends, and left the rest of us to drink cheap dregs. Try and find one of those pictures for us, eh? I'm sure you can manage that.
You can bet on it. I've got a nose for booze.
I don't doubt it. Get sniffing quick.
The sooner he's gone.
Let's drink to that.
To King Wenceslas. I'd rather eat well.
Not you.
Have you ever thought about getting married? It would make...
Well, that's no great loss.
Farcical beginning. Baron Vaku. How'd you like her wine, Chevalier?
The art of winemaking has a long tradition in La Belle France. Recipes are passed on from father to son, and each generation brings them to perfection. I myself was practically raised on wine. How many I have tasted. Even the French royal court took note of my refined taste. The king himself had wine delivered for his table according to my advice.
So you're not too keen on our stuff?
Comment dire? Let us say you still have much work ahead. If you try hard, you may have some decent wine to celebrate the second coming of Christ. Give me 100 nights.
Like that poor son over there.
Everyone's being too hopeful here.
You're talking bollocks. For the cock.
Good day.
If I know my luck, things will start going sour now.
Greetings.
Greetings to you, friend.
Having a good time? It's a fucking bore. These old farts here have no idea what fun is.
Well, what are you missing? There's wine, food, even a few females worth the same.
I'd rather have a game of dice. Or a good punch-up.
I'm offering you a business deal, without any ulterior motives. I am far too old for some sentimental courtship.
How come you're still here, sir? Weren't you supposed to travel with Sir Hanush? Raise an army, prepare a wedding feast and all that?
All hail Jobst! He sorted out things here nicely. He got my money for a start, and that's more than I wanted to give him. But you know how it goes. Give them a finger. I explained to the Margrave that I'm not going anywhere, and I sent my captain with him. He's still young and full of piss and vinegar. I'm too old and fond of my comfort.
Did you at least discuss with Hanush where the wedding will take place?
Nothing to discuss. It'll be at our castle Potstein, of course. It's the pride of our family. We can fit in 3 times more people than here, and that still wouldn't be much.
Ah, but there are 2 castles in Rattay. I'd bet my right arm old Hanush will want to have the wedding there.
What? In Rattay? Well, I ought to look into that then.
But deal with him yourself, though. I won't be your gent's messenger anymore.
Gracious! You couldn't think of a fancier name?
Everybody likes a drop of white.
Now there's a piece of horseflesh for you, Ruthard. Not like that nag of yours.
What the hell do you beat it with? It looks more like a damn bull.
Sir! Sir! There's some horsemen right out front of the fortress.
Ah, that's Peter of Pisac. He wouldn't come to the council, but he is coming happily to the celebration, you old fox.
Come on in, sir. There's wine aplenty.
Hey! Hey! Intruders! Enemies at the gates!
Seize the nobles! Kill the rest!
The surrounding Christopher. He can't make it on his own.
Christ! Under here! Fuck you!
Fuck that!
Got him! Next!
Nice
strike!
Fucking sorry.
Get
One
in!
step back!
Get on your ground!
It's a wonder you're still Take that fucker out, damn it! True blood, yes! This is how we fight in trots now. True blood! Didn't see that coming, Ready to die? Light him up! Nice!
Jesus! The surrounding Christopher. He can't make it on his own.
Hey! Get him!
Come on, Ned!
Nice strike!
He's done for!
Nice strike!
Ride those horses out!
Slice him up!
Carrier and Lason! You ugly bugger! Aha! Bad luck! Blood flowing!
It's a wonder you're still standing!
I told you he had two legs!
Quick, quick!
You led him on nicely! Bash him on the head! I'll be done with you in a flash. Nice hit! Fuck yourself! You got it! No mercy! It's a wonder you're still shitting yourself.
That was a close shave.
A little too close. Fuck me. Did my eyes deceive me? Henry!
Godwin!
How did you get...
Damn. I can't tell you how happy I am to see you. You turned up at just the right moment.
Is everyone alright?
Well, some are, some aren't.
They captured Odorin, Kunstad and Rutard. And they took Alder and Kunrad of Vector away too.
They wanted to slay the rest like dogs.
What about my father? And Hanush?
They left with Yobs long before that. I'm sure they're all right, but not everyone was so lucky.
Where did they go? Back to Rattay?
They've got to raise an army for us. And I hope they fucking hurry.
So we have a plan to counter Sigismund?
More of a promise than a plan.
But, as you can see, our allies are getting scarce. We should lay low until Jobst gets back.
I'll gladly play dead for a while. Be so kind. And don't speak of the dead.
What happened, Godwin? Who died?
Anna of Waldstein. She didn't stand a chance against those butchers. May she rest in peace.
She was simply in the wrong place at the wrong time.
And they almost killed my brother. But only almost. Good luck.
What do you mean, almost? What happened?
I got there in time to help him, fortunately. Christopher tried to defend our father, but nearly lost his life doing it. Nothing.
Old grievances aside, Odorin is an ally, the same as Rutard and Botchek.
Oh, they all have their quirks. Cousin Botchek's a money-grabbing magpie. But I won't give up on the fucker either. We'll have to wait for the other side's move anyway. We don't even know where von Berghout took them.
I tried to come as soon as possible and warn you, but von Bergov's people beat me here.
You knew he was coming.
Markvart bragged about it to Sigismund, and Sigismund promised to make him Lord of Warhorse in return.
When he sees what von Berghout did with it, he'll shit himself.
You find that funny? Do you like watching those foreigner dogs rampaging around and slaughtering innocents? Who else has to die before we do something about it?
Tell us about it. We were neck deep in corpses before you bothered to turn up.
Well, not you.
Fuck you, Jan. I'd trade places with you in a heartbeat, trust me.
We've lost a lot of allies. We'll have trouble finding new ones. They'll be afraid to even peep against Sigismund.
Well, are you surprised? Look around. Sigismund showed everyone what's coming for all who resist him.
You want to give up now?
Nobody said anything about giving up. We'll treat the wounded, bury the dead, get the hell out of here. Then we'll hide in the Devil's Den and wait for Jobst and his army.
If I survive the journey... Oh, God's teeth. That stupid nag nearly broke me in half.
The king announced one more thing at the council. He asked the councillors to ransack the Jewish quarter. That is, He ordered it, more like.
Fuck! Liechtenstein's got his people there. They could reveal a lot.
The city rabbi is sitting upstairs in the hall. At least he's safe here.
They're our allies. We have to help them.
What do you mean by we? Everyone here is lucky to be still breathing. I can just see them all jumping to their feet and rush to save their poor Jews.
Maybe Samuel will figure something out. He wanted to talk to you anyway.
He's here too?
Aye, escorting the rabbi. You should go and see them as soon as possible. And tell Liechtenstein too.
Anyway, we've got work to do. Godwin?
Give me a moment. I'll go and see Christopher first. Guard the walls until morning. If anyone shows up, what I want to know.
Horrible. So many dead.
They dragged Lord Oderic who knows where. And almost killed his son too.
Leave it alone. Now we're in it with them anyway.
Flora. Handsome, young, sturdy. Well, at least it was overcooked. Though, you almost took pinnacle of
That dry devil is as tough as old boots. If a horse fell on me, I wouldn't get up again.
Didn't even spare the animal. My Tempest lost his life too. They put enough arrows in him to knock down 3 lightning. What about your horse?
I don't know. I saw them bolting out the gate. Suddenly.
It's nothing too bad.
You did.
You wanted to talk to me?
I did. Because...
Just tell him. You may not get another chance.
I talked to Godwin. He said you know each other?
What did you talk about? Me?
We talked about your stepfather, Martin.
Why? Neither of you knew him.
It's true, I did not. But I tried many times. Remember how I stared at your sword when we first met? I recognized the Master's symbol engraved there. Well, the thing is, I am Martin's son.
What? Pa's son? How did...
Yes, his son. That is, his bastard son.
Are you sure? We look the same age, and Martin lived with me and Ma as long as I can remember.
When I was born, he was already long gone. Maybe we are not even a year apart.
And what does that make us then?
Nothing. Proof perhaps that both your god and mine have a sense of humor. You know, all my life, I thought if I did not give a shit about that man, it would be easier. But now that I know I will never see him, it troubles me that I did not get to know him.
I can tell you about him if you want. But now is not the right time. This is not the end. We have to go to Kuttenberg, now. Sigismund ordered confiscation of the property of people in the Jewish quarter.
The king has approved Xere.
He's no king to me. He's a fucking whoreson.
What's a Gezerah?
That is hard to explain.
Nonsense. It is as clear as day. Christians set out to kill our people. Innocent and often defenseless. Ransack their houses and divide the loot. And all that with the king's blessing.
This is what we were afraid of. But we did not expect Sigismund to be in such a hurry. We need to get back into the city and get the people out, quick, before it begins. Will you come with us, Henry? Every man counts.
I have to tell Liechtenstein, but then we'll set off right away.
Go and tell him, but hurry.
Hamish, why did we even come here?
Thank God for small mercies. Otherwise, Warhorse would be left without a law.
We have to take care of young Sir Christopher.
Good to see you both. Alive.
Oh, come on.
You know, I've walked out of much worse scrapes laughing.
They could well have killed us all. If it hadn't been for you, Henry, von Berkhoff could have caused a lot more harm.
Von Owlitz surprised even Sigismund with that. You should have seen the look on the king's face when he told him.
Well, thank God we all survived.
Well, not all of us. They killed Lady Anna of Volstein and many other nobles. It was slaughter.
And they captured our closest and most influential allies. Without them, we can hardly get the burghers on our side. We're stuck.
We'll figure out a way to help them.
But how? Our plans are ruined.
Get a grip. Whining doesn't help anyone.
You're right. When I drink too much wine, I get overwhelmed with self-pity. Nevertheless, I have to admit it can't get much worse.
Actually, it might. Very soon. At Sigismund's council, an order was given to ransack the Jewish quarter.
God's wounds! We need to get back to the city and warn them.
I'm going with you.
Out of the question. Do you want to end up imprisoned again? You'll be more useful if you stay here and help Shishka. Henry, tell Samuel and the rabbi to get ready to travel. I'll try to get someone else to join.
Samuel already knows. And he's ready to go.
In that case, we'll set off immediately.
I'm going with the rest of our people to Devil's Den. So don't leave me hanging, all right? Stay strong.
Thank God you're all right. On the way here, I saw Sigismund horsemen and feared the worst.
Kubienka? What brings you here?
Well, I heard you were having some kind of a feast here, so I came to grab a bit of meat. And I see, instead of that, you have a massacre here.
Well, the real massacre is yet to come if we don't do something fast. We have to get to Kuttenberg. Can we borrow the wagon you arrived on?
But of course. I borrowed it too, if you know what I mean, but,
Could you stop blabbering already? We don't have the time.
Easy, Ingele. And you, sir, if you can, come with us and help us.
All right. But could you please tell me what the fuck is going on?
I'll explain to you on the way. Time is running out.
Are you coming too, Sir John?
Of course.
Let's go then.
Barakata Adonai Eloheinu, melech haolam.